there's no rush, there's no force. It's just the waiting for the right thing. And when the right thing is there, immediately you're acting on it because you know that you're already ready for that thing when it shows up. It's like you've tended the soil so that immediately when it's there, there's no thinking. Your body knows, and you go with that thing. And it's like that to me is always being alive, always being at the ready. And there's no thinking about that. It's because you have attuned yourself to this devotion to aliveness that is so strong that in a millisecond, if your attention lands on something and it is right for you, you lock on and then you're in it. And one of the biggest problems I have had and suffered with through this process is that when I know it and I try to run towards it, everybody else is trying to analyze it, or they're hanging back, or they're trying to figure out how to like make the thing happen. And I'm like, I'm already done. I have the thing already. I'm already having sex with it. And everybody is still talking. And it is really hard. It's really hard because by the time they've caught up, I'm gone. I'm out of that room. I'm not there. And then I have to put myself back in that room because now they want to have that conversation because it's really frustrating. It's
Yeah.
like blue balls all the time.
Yeah.
And and so I think there's this like when people are around me more and we're intimate in these ways, their fields start to know it and they love it. They're like, I can go with you there. I can go with you there. Like, yeah. And this hooks into a whole other piece that we should talk about in part two about why people can't act. Like, what is the problem about how like horrible things are happening and everybody is just standing there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's something coming up for me that I've heard you touch on a little bit at various points over the years that feels like there is some, what you're describing just there in that dynamic, it feels like there's something important in the like baseline orientation around like
Yes.
control and manageability.
Yes.
Um, I remember you saying, I think this was something you and Rosa Lewis did in a recorded conversation. You said something that really stuck with me along the lines of like people hold on to this idea that life is going to be manageable. And
Yeah.
that really stayed with me. I think I don't know if this is right, but it's jumping out at me that like it feels like there's a fundamental difference in those viewpoints that you're talking about. And one is coming from a stance of like, well, how do I like control and manage this thing versus like,
Yes.
how do I fuck it?
Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly that's 100% it. How do I fuck it? Yes. Right. And is it worth fucking?
Right.
Yeah, those are like the two key questions that I'm navigating all the time. And that could change with somebody at any moment. Like in an instant that could change. But but yeah, I think the key thing about control is that most people are walking around with that stance of it is my job to make something that is inherently unmanageable manageable. You know, when people go through a legitimate awakening, one of the things that really is the rubber meets the road is that you cannot manage a real awakening. You just can't. And every effort that you try to do that will result in you actually being really sick. Like you double down on that and you're going to get really sick because there's an order to that chaos that is yours to learn how to respect, not manage. And that's where humility comes from is like really taking yourself down 1,000 notches. And humility is not collapse. Those are very different. Most people just collapse. That's not humility. That's not yielding. That's actually just falling over because you feel powerless. A journey of awakening is a journey of power. And that requires the humility to not know, to get out of the way, and to stay upright as much as possible. That is very, very subtle.